Now let's proceed to write our first Java program. Now what is the essence of a Java program? What must be there in a Java program? Now every Java program that must be enclosed as a class. So we must write a class. Name this class any name that you wish to name. So I say first class. And then you need to start the curly braces for the class. Now in a sense this is a complete Java class. It can work as such. You can use this class without even declaring anything within this class. This is a perfectly fine class. But how do we run this class? How do we run some code within this class? The main is a method that you need in a Java class that you need to run. So this is an in structure a complete Java class that you can run, or what I say, that you can execute as a single unit. So you have a class, you have a public static void main with a string array as a parameter to this, and this is what constitutes a complete class that I can run. And if I need to print in hello world, I'll simply say system.out.print hello world and a semicolon. In Java every line has to end with semicolon. So I end this with a semicolon. This is a single line, legal line of code for Java, and if you need to print something to the console you need to write system.out.print. So I have a class, I have a main method, I have a statement of code that prints hello world to the console in this class. Now the name of the class is first class, and I'm still to name the file that I am writing this code in. Let me name this file and let me create a new folder called javaprogs, and within this let me say this as first.java. So as you can see, this has no relation to the name of the class. The name of the class is first class and the name of the file is first.java. So absolutely fine with this. You can name the file any name that you want, and you can name the class different from what the file is. Let me save this. Okay, so now let's compile this file. And let me go to this folder called javaprogs, and I'll compile the file. So just remember, you're compiling the file and it compiles. Let me see what exactly has the compilation done to this folder. Now as you can see, it has created a .class file corresponding to the name of the class that we had in the file. So if you have a number of classes in the file, you will have a number of .class files within this folder. We'll just see shortly how what exactly do I mean with this. As of now you can see the file. When you compile you get a .class file. Now this is what is a bytecode file. So this is what is a platform independent file. You can run this file directly on any platform without recompiling your Java code, and this is corresponding to the class that you have in this file. Now if I need to run this class, I need to have main in this class. So if I say Java and first class, I am in fact running the main method of first class. So when you say Java first class, you are essentially telling that run the main method of first class. So hope this is clear. So this means if you do not have a main, so let me comment this. So if I comment this and then I need to compile again, and now if I say Java first class, it will again try to run the main method from the first class, which is now not in that class. So it will say it's not able to find any main in the first class. So if you need to run a class as an independent unit, you need a main method. But if you do not have a main in a class, even that class is perfectly valid. As you can see, when we compiled this file first.java, there's no error. Class without a main is perfectly fine, but if you need to run this class with the Java interpreter, you need to have main. And the second point here is that in a file you can have any number of classes. I can say class A, I can say class B. So I have 3 classes in this, and I can have main in all of them. I can have main in all of them, and I can have main in none of them. So it's all up to me. I can have main in as many classes I want. Let me uncomment this and change the method to say hello world of A. Done. And I'll simply say hello world. So what we've done now is we have 3 classes in the file, and the file name doesn't match any of these. And let's now compile again. And let's see what the directory shows us. Now you got 3 class files corresponding to A, corresponding to B, corresponding to first class. So whatever is the number of classes you have in a file, you have that many number of files, dot class files in that directory. So if you need to run class A, you'll say Java A. So it will look for main in A. If you say Java first class, it will look for main in first class. If you say Java B, it will look for main in B, which is not there. So you get an error. So hope this is clear that when you run a program, you write a file. A file can have any number of classes. When you compile a file, you get as many dot class files as you have the number of classes in that file. Now the only issue with the naming nomenclature is that if I put public to this class and I try to compile, there is an error. So the only limitation you have is that if a class is public, the file name has to be the same as the class. So in this case, the file name has to be a.java. Or if I have a class first, then this can be the only class that can be public. So if I say class first, I can make this public. So this is the only class that can be public in a file. So in other words, I can say that in a file there can be only one class that can be public. And we are through. So you've seen how you can create your first Java program, how you compile with the Java C compiler, how you can run your Java class by running with the Java interpreter and the class name. You don't put a dot class, you simply say Java first, not Java first dot class. So this is what you need to keep in mind. You don't put a dot class with the name of the class that you run with the Java interpreter. And the another rule is that if you name a class public, then the file name has to match that class. Otherwise, there is no stopping to the naming of the class, or the number of classes that you can have, or the number of classes that can have a main within a file. So hope this clears about your first Java program.